Hello there. I don't know why you clicked on this video, but I believe one thing: nothing ever happens by accident. Maybe you're not here out of curiosity. Maybe it's because a part of you, a very quiet, very deep part, has just been called. A part of you that's been tucked away, buried under life, under responsibility, under pain you never got to name. But today, there's something that needs to be said, not by me, but by someone who's been watching over you for a very, very long time, from the other side of the sky. And soon you'll understand why this moment, this exact moment, this exact place is when the light finally found its way back to you. So let me tell you something your soul has known all along, but maybe, just maybe, you are finally ready to remember. There are moments in life that words simply can't explain. Just an ordinary afternoon, and somehow you clicked on this title. You don't know why, but your heart does. You stopped, not because of the thumbnail, not because of some familiar rhythm of the internet, but because something you couldn't name, was calling you, something that goes beyond logic, beyond the mind, something only the heart knows how to hear. You might think it was just a coincidence, but the truth is you were brought here, not by an algorithm, but by love, the love of a father who left this world but never left you. Your father moved the entire sky just to send this message to you at the exact moment you needed it most, because maybe deep inside your heart there are questions you've never dared to ask, silences you've never fully acknowledged, and nights where you looked up at the sky and whispered, "Dad, are you still there?" If you've ever dreamed of him even just once, a blurry dream that felt too real to forget, then maybe you'll understand what I'm about to say. If there was ever a moment when an old song suddenly played, right as your heart was breaking, if you've ever felt someone you couldn't see gently take your hand in the dark, if a breeze snuck through your window and left you quietly breathless for no reason, that's not random, that's presence. That's your father's eyes from another world watching you through the mirrors of the universe. And today, as you stopped right here, I believe you've heard it, that quiet calling. No one else hears it, but you do, and it says, "My child, I'm still here." Maybe it's hard to believe you're Aries after all. You were born to move, to begin to blaze forward. You're a warrior by nature, but even warriors have nights when they collapse in silence, aching to be seen beneath the armor. Maybe you've lived too long in a noisy world where everyone tells you to be strong, when all you really needed was for someone to say, "You're allowed to be soft, you're allowed to remember, you are not alone." And maybe this message is exactly that. You know, no matter who you are or where you are in life, in a father's eyes, you are still his child, still worthy of being held even in your silence. You don't have to prove your strength to earn that kind of love, because your soul has already been called, not with thunder, but with the kind of quiet only a father can create. Maybe you've told yourself you've come too far, you've grown too logical, too adult to believe in invisible things, but the soul never forgets. It remembers where it once felt safe. And when you landed in this exact moment, when you heard these words, that was your soul gently whispering, "I'm home." No one ever walks far without needing a route to return to. And you, Aries, the first sign, the one who leads because you go first. You need the deepest kind of strength behind you, not loud, not showy, but constant, unshakable. And the only one who can carry that kind of love for you is your father. He doesn't show up in flashing lights. He doesn't arrive like a miracle in gold. He shows up in small things, a quiet light at the end of the day, a song you forgot you loved, a breath you didn't know you needed, but that somehow calms you completely. That's how those we've lost still speak to us. Not with words, but with feeling, with stillness. And if right now your heart is trembling just a little, believe me, he's here right now in every beat of your soul. I don't know what you've been through. Maybe it's loss, maybe it's silence, maybe it's a space in you that no one else could ever fill. But I do know this: if you're still listening, then your father brought you here. He doesn't always get the chance to whisper. Only in the moments when you are still enough, empty enough, can he cross the boundary between his world and yours and touch your heart. Maybe you've been strong for too long. Maybe you've been living as if you didn't need anyone at all. But today, your soul just wants to hear one simple truth: you are not alone. And if you felt that whisper, if something in you is stirring, but you can't quite name it yet, then maybe you're ready to understand why. Your father didn't choose just any moment. He chose this one, right here, right now, to send you something sacred. And together, you and I, we're going to walk gently into that light in just a moment, because this is only the beginning. Some things, even when they are gone, never truly disappear, like the moon, which no longer shines in daylight, yet never leaves the sky, like the love of a father. Though he's no longer here, you still feel him, in every breath that brushes past you without warning. If you've ever lost your father, stood in a quiet room and felt a silence no words could ever fill, then you understand. Some kinds of love can't be touched, only felt. And strangely enough, those are the ones that last the longest. Have you ever woken from a dream with your father's face so vivid you couldn't look away? Have you ever heard a familiar laugh echoing somewhere in a crowded street, a laugh that stopped your heart for just a moment? Or maybe it was just an ordinary afternoon, a breeze brushing against your collar, and suddenly your eyes filled with tears for no reason at all. That's not imagination. That is connection. Your father didn't vanish. He simply changed places, from sitting beside you in this physical world to quietly watching over you. From the invisible one, from listening to your every spoken word to feeling every tremble in your heart without you having to say a thing. In astrology, we believe everything is energy, and energy never dies. It only transforms, like water becoming cloud, like sunset melting quietly into darkness, but leaving a soft trace of memory that lingers all the way into morning. In Buddhist teachings, this is known as the continuation of consciousness. The soul doesn't end with death, and the deepest bonds between souls can never be severed by life or death. Your father may no longer be here in form, but his love, that love is still moving through you, like a gentle current flowing quietly through your life. Have you noticed? In moments when you were just about to fall apart, yet somehow, you still found the strength to go on. In times when you felt completely alone, but when you closed your eyes, you heard a voice from far away whisper, "You're all right, my child. I'm here." Maybe you've told yourself it was just wishful thinking, a way to comfort your own heart. But the heart always knows what the mind refuses to believe. And when you become still enough, quiet enough to listen, you'll see clearly the one who once held you in his arms is still holding you now, not with hands of flesh, but with light. I share this with you, not just as a storyteller, but as someone who's lost his father too. For the longest time, whenever someone mentioned my dad, all I could do was stay silent. I thought he was gone forever, until one day, after walking through one of the hardest moments of my life, I came out stronger, with a strength I didn't know I had, and I realized he never left me. He just stopped holding my hand physically and started holding me. Through the will I inherited from him, through my quiet determination, through the look in my eyes that refuses to back down, through the courage that walks beside me every time I step into the world. Maybe you felt the same if at some point in your life you dreamed of your father or felt him with you in some strange, beautiful moment. Then maybe you've touched that truth too. And if right now you're sitting here, your heart slowing down, your thoughts becoming softer, then maybe you're feeling something no one else needs to explain. Your father is still with you, just in a different way. And if you're ready, if there's a dream you've never told anyone, a memory that still brings tears when it floats to the surface, then I invite you, not as a request, but as a gentle offering. Write it down, not to prove anything, but as a way to send a signal to the other souls out there who are also searching for light. Who knows, your story might become the small light in the dark for someone who's quietly losing hope. Real love doesn't need noise. It only needs to be acknowledged. And when you write it down, you're saying to the universe, I once loved, I once lost, but we were never truly apart. And if you've ever felt that kind of love, if there's a moment inside you that no one else seems to understand, then I know you'll understand this. The changes unfolding in your life right now, they're not random, and that is exactly what we'll step into. In the next chapter, some mornings, you open your eyes and you're not even sure who you are anymore. Not because you've forgotten yourself, but because you're standing at the edge of a transformation. And transformation almost always begins with a feeling of falling apart. It's not a coincidence that you feel confused. In relationships that once felt so familiar, it's not random that the things which once brought you joy don't seem to fit anymore. It's not weakness if you feel tired of being strong. It's a calling, a whisper from the other side of your old world, reminding you that it's time to stop living the way you used to. Aries, you are fire, but not every fire is meant to destroy. Some flames are sent to purify, to burn away the worn-out skins, so that the light inside you can breathe again. What you're going through, the sudden silence in a relationship, the coldness in a room full of people you once trusted, the blurry fear of not knowing where you belong, none of that means you're lost. It means your soul is shifting. You're being prepared to grow bigger, to feel deeper, to step into the life your soul once promised God long before you were born. I will bring light to the places the world has forgotten. And in order to do that, you must be renewed from the inside out. Buddha said, there is no rebirth without letting go. Like a tree, it must shed its last leaf before spring can bloom. Like the ocean, it must allow the winds to stir its surface before it can return to peace again. Maybe that's what's happening in you right now. Maybe you're being stirred, but believe me, the stirring is the beginning of clarity. Aries, you were born to blaze new trails. You carry the strength of beginnings, and before every great beginning, there's always a quiet ending, a soft breaking that only the soul can hear. You are not falling apart. You are being called into the light. You are returning to the sacred shape God and the universe designed for you from the very beginning, and your Father watches you constantly. From the other side, He knows. He sees you tremble as you release something familiar, but He also sees. The light in you flicker to life again when you choose honesty over pleasing others. Maybe it feels like you're fading in this world, but what's really happening is that you're finally showing up. Not as the version the world demanded, but as the version you were always meant to be. Limitless, real, unapologetically you. And your Father stands there, not intervening, not holding you back. He just prays in silence. Please give my child the courage to never live a small life. Sometimes real love doesn't hold you tight, it lets you go, so you can come back to yourself free. Maybe you're in the middle of that moment now, alone, feeling like no one truly understands. But even in that loneliness, you are being held in the unseen hands of a love that is real and vast. A love that comes from heaven and earth, from your Father, from God, from a deeper layer of the universe, where light never fades. And I know, what you need right now isn't another lesson. What you need is a pause, a deep one, a safe one where you can exhale without needing to defend yourself. So if you're moving through a change, whether it's big or small, clear or confusing, let it happen. And if your heart is aching for someone to simply say out loud, you're okay, you're on the right path, then let me be the one to say it to you right now. And if something in you wants to speak, a feeling, a storm, a spark of a new beginning, write it down. Not as an explanation, but as a quiet declaration to the universe that you're ready to leave your old cocoon behind, because somewhere out there, many souls are waiting for your signal, so they can find the courage to step out too. You don't have to explain, you just have to show up. And when you do fully, that's when transformation begins. And in that very moment, when you thought you had nothing left, your Father sent you a light, not to guide you on a path that already exists, but to help you create your own. A gentle whisper, soft as wind, strong enough to lift a soul. You don't have to live just to survive anymore. It's time to live like someone who's been reborn. And that light doesn't stop here. It's already spreading, quietly, powerfully, leading you to a place where you'll no longer live in fear, but in the deepest truth of who you are. And when you arrive there, you'll see your Father has been there all along, just waiting for you to realize you were never walking alone, because there's one truth this light is about to reveal. One truth that won't just change you, it will change the way you see your entire life. After every moment of falling apart, a new door quietly opens. No noise, no warning, just one day. You wake up and your heart feels still. You're no longer trying so hard, no longer needing to prove anything. You just want to live. Real, maybe. That's exactly where you are right now. The phase where you're done arguing with the world, where you no longer need anyone to fully understand you. All you need is a small light, just enough to know you're still headed in the right direction. And sometimes, that light doesn't come from outside. It comes from the quiet grace your Father left behind, right there, in your heart, I believe. Some souls weren't born just to live for themselves. They are the first light, the ones who go ahead, the ones who break the path open, so others can walk safely behind. And Aries, you are one of those souls. Maybe you don't realize that yet. Maybe you've doubted yourself before, felt out of place in a world that asked you to shrink to fit in. You've loved people so deeply, you forgot your own name. You tried to be more likable, more easy to be with, less demanding, just to stay a little longer in someone's life. But do you know something? A true mission doesn't need to be understood. It only needs to be lived fully. And you You were born to live that way, fully, without apology, without shrinking, without waiting for permission to be who you already are. Because you are Aries, the beginning, the first spark in the Zodiac, the raw flame the universe sent down to ignite life. From the ruins, maybe you felt too different, too intense, too much for this world. But God never creates a useless soul, and your fire, however it burns, has always been held and honored, because you are not just a being, you are a reminder that light still exists. And your father, the one who once held your hand in your earliest days, is now guiding you into a chapter he saw coming long before you even named it. You may not know what it looks like yet. You haven't seen the faces of the ones you're about to meet, but here's what I do know. In this new chapter, you won't need to shrink to be loved. You'll meet souls who see their own light reflected in yours, people who don't need you to pretend to be softer, people who don't fear your fire, but treasure it as proof that you're real and brave. This new chapter, it isn't just the next page of the old story. It's not written in the language of old dreams or outdated definitions of happiness. It's a whole new world, a place where you don't live to be approved. You live to fulfill a promise your soul made with the universe long before this life, a promise that said, I will dare to live true, and in doing so, you'll help others do the same. Awakening doesn't arrive like a loud bell ringing across the sky. It comes like a small flutter in the left side of your chest, a simple sentence that suddenly makes you want to cry, a stranger's gaze that feels like a memory from a lifetime ago, an afternoon when you stop in the middle of busy street for no reason at all and whisper to yourself, I've changed. And the truth is, you have, not because you tried to become someone new, but because you had the courage to stop being anyone you were not. That's what makes your father proud. He didn't guide you here to learn how to please the world. He brought you here to learn how to stand tall by the light inside you, to become someone strong but still soft, bold but full of grace, someone who can walk alone if needed, but knows deep down you're never truly alone if you've been feeling a quiet stirring inside, a truth that's not fully clear, but undeniably real. Then maybe your new chapter has already begun. And if you feel like you're being called somewhere that isn't on a map, but deep inside your soul, write it down as a signal to the universe. I am ready to begin. You don't have to write it for me, not for anyone, just for yourself and for your father, the one who made sure everything aligned. So you could be here, standing in the light, no longer asking for permission to exist, because you are not just being reborn. You are stepping into a sacred chapter, one your father prepared with such care, a long, long time ago, a place where light begins to sprout, quietly, powerfully, and nothing can stop it now. And from deep within that light, something you once dreamed of, something you thought was lost, will find its way back to you in the most unexpected form.